Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Deborah Jacobson with Venus Rev It Up Smoothies and Healthy Foods. And today we're here on the webinar. I have a special guest, Dr. Marc Eisman. So welcome, Marc.
Thank you.
And so we're really excited to have Marc here because he really has a lot of information to share with you, and he has an amazing background. So I want to just hand it over to Marc for a second. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what your history is, what you've done in the past.
Okay, I have a Bachelor of Science degree from Cornell University in Life Science, and then I completed my Doctor of Chiropractic in Los Angeles in 1984. I've been a practicing chiropractor for approximately 36 years, as well as a professor of chiropractic at 3 of the Southern California chiropractic colleges.
So I know our topic today is metabolism. So everybody always asks, you know, what does metabolism even mean, first of all? And I hear a lot of my clients say, I have a slow metabolism. That's why I can't lose weight. So before we get into that, why don't you tell folks a little bit about your background in working with a lot of clients at gyms and helping them with lose weight and just, you know, what you've done. I know you were part of Gold's Gym chain for a long time.
I was international vice president of Gold's Gym International, and I traveled to basically 12 countries around the world, opened up approximately 100 Gold's Gyms, as well as worked for World Gym International. And the one common thing I found is people want to lose weight. And they always ask me this question, what is this thing called metabolism?
Yeah, and that's a good question. And I think there's a lot of confusion around it and how it relates to losing weight. And it's also not that straightforward as well. So I'm glad that we have you here today so that you can sort of demystify some of the ideas people have about that, about having a slow metabolism and about never being able to change that. And what are the things that really affect that? So Marc, I'm going to hand it over to you. And I'm going to let you just go through some information that you can share with all of us that will have a big impact so that we can all make those changes that are going to be really important to rev up our metabolism and help us to stay lean and lose some weight. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I know you've got a great presentation here. Why don't I go ahead and open that, and then you can go ahead and take it away.
Thank you. Okay, the story that I always hear is, I can't lose weight because my metabolism is slow. Does that sound familiar to you?
I'm sure most people are saying, yes, that's me too.
Okay, what is metabolism? When I think of metabolism, to make it simple, I think of this internal built-in mechanism that processes food, water, beverages, etc., and releases oxygen in order to give the body its energy source. And through this metabolism process, we either put on weight or take off weight. So we can have a positive metabolism called anabolism, building up, or we want to talk about catabolism here, losing weight or breaking down the molecules. When I also think about its influence on weight loss, two things play a major role here. Muscle can really drive your metabolic rate. That's because muscle is more metabolically active than something like fat or bone, meaning it expends more calories while performing its duties. So muscles burn more energy than the rest of the body, like the fat and the bone and the rest of the connective tissue in the body. Foods that we eat play a major essential role in our metabolism because of how they affect your blood sugar. High carbohydrate foods and foods high in sugar can spike your blood sugar and then bring it crashing down.
So that's where you eat some sugar or a high carb lunch and you feel like you gotta have a little snooze at your desk at work, right?
Correct.
Like
you come all the way up and all the way down.
Yeah. In there.
Right. So by eating more protein, vegetables, and fruits, this ensures our body stays full, fueled, and has the essential amino acids, which are the building blocks that make our muscle and all the other essential systems of the body, and it also repairs our cells and regenerates the tissues. Builds muscle through strength training, exercise, and make sure to get a full night's sleep. Studies have demonstrated that getting enough sleep is the essential to optimum body function, including maintaining a healthy body weight.
Now, there may be some folks that are watching this that don't exercise at all, and they might be saying, you know, how am I going to get started with building up muscle when maybe I haven't exercised in a long time, or I may have some physical limitations. So is there something that you can think of that be a workaround for like strength training, or would you say even at least changing the food you eat, will that have a bigger or an important impact?
It will have a very important impact on the body. What you put in the body, it definitely has an effect on weight gain or weight loss. Stabilizing blood sugar is recommended. Eating small meals throughout the day.
Right.
You won't have these spikes and dips in the blood sugar, which is important for your overall metabolism and appetite control. When your blood sugar dips or goes low, your brain sends signals to the body to eat more. That's why skipping meals has a bounce back effect and can make you more likely to overeat the next time you sit down for a meal. If you don't eat, the body wants to store it because it's afraid it's going to starve or miss the next meal.
Right. Our bodies are still essentially back in the caveman days, where it's, you know, if there isn't enough food, we get in a panic and our body says, oh, store fat, right? So maybe that's what people are talking about when they say my metabolism is slow, because maybe they're not feeding it. Does that sound right? They're not feeding it the right food and not enough food throughout the day.
Correct. We find that, for example, people that eat one big heavy meal, they tend to put on weight, whilst other people that eat small, regulated, balanced meals throughout the day, they seem to reach an effect that's both physical and healthy for them.
And you know, there's a new trend, although there's always a lot of trends, and this is something that we have to be aware of, where they're saying you should be hungry in between meals, so they want to starve you. And we think that that's, you know, the theory is that then when you do eat, then your food won't turn into fat. I've never found that. I always get super hungry if I do that, and I find that I overeat. So I don't really prescribe to that. I think that having the meals, or even having like a smoothie, which we're going to talk about soon, is a great thing to have in between a meal or even for a meal. You don't want to get too hungry, right? Is that the theory?
Correct.
Keep your blood sugar.
Keep the blood sugar, keep the stomach full throughout the entire day. And this helps either maintain your metabolism, or it helps to break down the excess fat and water that we stored in the body without hurting the protein of the body or the muscles.
So then, in other words, if we allow ourselves to get too hungry, we have too much of a gap, that actually will slow down the metabolism.
Correct.
Okay, there you go. That is a very important point to make.
And the most important thing is water. Without hydration, the body cannot complete all its complex processes, and that includes burning calories. And that's where we want to go with this. You don't have to gulp down a liter of water at a time, but spreading it out throughout the day will ensure optimal results.
So I want to ask you a question about that, because when we were kids, we were always told, you know, you shouldn't drink with your meals. You shouldn't have too much water. It'll make you full. But it sounds almost like that is actually a good thing to do. Not only does it have a biochemical effect, but it is good to have some water, and it gives you that feeling of being satisfied so you don't overeat.
Correct. We find that the first thing you should do in the morning is have a nice big glass of water, and that will help you reduce the craving for sugar and other nutrients that the body needs.
Okay, great. That's a really good, important tip.
And why is it as we get older that our metabolism slows down? Well, it's a normal part of the aging process that metabolism slows down. You'll notice that even if your habits are the same, you start to gain weight. You can keep exercising, eating the same food, and all of a sudden you're still gaining weight. So you have to make adjustments. Number one is keep working out and creating muscle mass. Number two is make an adjustment to your caloric intake. Number three is take superfoods daily that have thermogenic boosters, and eat healthy food and make the right choice.
Okay, great. Well, those are good tips. We're going to talk about those thermogenic boosters a little later on because this is something that everybody needs to know about. And these are foods that actually make your metabolism run higher or hotter even at rest. So who wouldn't want that? So we're going to get into that in a little while.
Whether you're a man or a woman, aged 25 to 65, there's no reason that you cannot boost or change your metabolism and maintain a healthy body weight.
I think that's important information for everyone to know because I feel like some people give up. They get to a certain age and they say, oh, that's just how my metabolism's going to be and I can't change it all. But with your experience with having owned several gyms and worked with thousands of clients, you have found that's not the case.
I found two things. I found number one is at any age you can change your metabolism, even after 65, but I believe it's a lot easier between the ages of 25 and 65.
Okay, that's great. So we are empowered to knowing that we are in control and we can actually change that.
There's a lot of myths about weight loss, such as I'm too old and gaining weight is inevitable. I've tried every diet out there, but my weight is still the same. I don't have time to include exercise in my day. And most important, most diet plans are too expensive.
Right, so I think we just covered the part about being too old, so we know that's a myth because anybody can change it with the right information, correct? I've tried every diet out there, but my weight is still the same. Well, so there are a lot of fad diets out there. Here's my rule that I say, and you can let us know if you agree or if you want to add to that. If you're on a plan that is not sustainable, in other words, if you have to eat weird foods or, you have to deny yourself of some of the foods that you love, or, if it's just not something that's sustainable, maybe you can't access those foods all the time. Once you're off that plan, you'll just go back to what you were doing before. So there's a certain level of practicality that there has to be with just a normal, healthy, balanced diet. And did you find that with your clients?
Correct. You have to make it palatable. You have to make things that people like and that they crave. Certain foods, fruits, vegetables, proper proteins. If you make it palatable and taste it and it looks good and tastes good, you're going to want to eat it.
Right. So there's so many plans out there, like the high carb diet, just eating carbs or just eating protein. That's not balanced.
It's not balanced and it's not good for us.
And it's not good for you, right. And what I hear back from a lot of clients is that they get the bounce back effect. So, that's even worse. So you start at a certain weight and then you go on some fad diet and you may be lowering your calories too far. And then what happens when you lower your calories too far?
You start to store fat again.
Start to store fat. So you may end up at the end of that diet having gained weight. And of course, that's depressing. And it just leads to even more weight gain after that. Well, I want to talk for a second about I don't have time to include exercise in my day, and then going back to the idea that maybe some people have some limitations. So having, owned some gyms and opened up over 100 gyms for Golds, you've been in that environment. How do you work around that for people that, maybe don't have as much time or have limitations?
Well, there's things we can do, like park the car a little bit further from the supermarket, add a little bit walking, use the steps instead of an elevator or the escalator. While I'm sitting at the desk, there's certain exercises that I can do, or if I'm home watching TV, there's exercises I can do. It doesn't take going to a formal exercise program like a gym. There's two types of exercise, formal and informal.
Okay, fair enough. So in other words, that's not an excuse, and there's definitely a workaround. You just need some guidance to know what those things are that you can do. So if you don't exercise much, it's not as if we're saying, go out and run 10 miles. You will build up based on what your own needs are.
Correct.
Most diet plans are too expensive. Well, let's leave that to another section because I think there's a way that we can talk about that. And I definitely agree that there are diet plans out there. They're very expensive. There's a well-known diet chain where you get frozen foods, and it's about $160 a week, and you still have to go and buy your own produce and other foods. There's some that they'll deliver food, and they're $1,000 a month, so it can add up. And part of that is because, you know, we all get so anxious about so many different types of plans, and we want something that's really going to work and be practical. But the truth is that if you eat a well-balanced diet, it doesn't have to be more expensive than just buying regular food.
Correct.
Okay, we're going to talk more about that in a minute.
Making lifestyle changes, food, diet, menu, shopping, exercise, mental and emotional, social aspect are all factors that have to do with weight loss.
And I find a lot of these get left out. A lot of diet programs, they don't give you the shopping list. They don't talk to you about including exercise. They just give you a meal plan. The emotional and social aspect, I think, are super important because, you know, there is an emotional part of eating. Some people are emotional eaters. They're stressed out, you know, and then what happens? You go and eat. You know, I just had something horrible happen at work. I had a fight with my boss. I'm going to just go and give myself permission to have a donut because I'm feeling sorry for myself, and that really can sabotage your plan.
Correct.
Okay. So that all of these have to be addressed to really be in a place where you're going to really make some changes.
Correct. If I was to go on a diet plan, it would include food, diet, a menu, shopping, exercise, and to me, most important would be some sort of mental, emotional, social aspect of the diet.
Right. So in other words, if you go out every Friday night with a bunch of friends, typically you have pizza and beer, you need to have some way of approaching a social situation so that you can still enjoy yourself, but making a plan on how to approach those social situations where you know you may eat things that aren't going to contribute to your weight loss.
Correct. And then there's other challenges that we have with weight loss. We're turned into a fast food world where we grab food and stuff it down unconsciously just to fill the gap of hunger. Many times our work or family obligations pull us away from taking the time to eat right and exercise when we know we should. And it can also be hard to understand all the science behind a healthy weight loss plan, which can be overwhelming and lead to many failed attempts.
Right. And then once you get in that spiral, it's hard to get back out. So when you were working with some of your clients at the gym, you probably saw that, you know, many, many times.
Constantly. That was one of the major problems right there. How to keep our clients focused back in and not go through the spiral.
Right. And part of that too is I think things have to be practical, they have to be easy, and they have to be planned.
And economical.
And economical, right. So these are all important factors that are going to contribute to success of a weight loss program.
Correct. And the problem is that when we talk about the 5 pillars of exercise, people are afraid to ask experts for help. And I consider professional advice to be the number one aspect for a successful weight loss program.
Right. So it seems to be obvious, right? Go and ask people who are professionals. And I think some of the challenge with that is, who do I go ask? If you're starting right at the beginning, what kind of person do I need to get to help me? What modality? So I know when you were, you know, working with clients and helping them with weight loss, you were talking to them about nutrition, but then you were at a gym. They also needed a coach, but then there are so many different aspects. I think it's hard for people to pull that all together. I think that's part of the challenge and why so many people fail, because, you know, they don't know the questions to ask.
Correct. And they're afraid to ask for help. If I had an easy access to get help and I'd say a professional that can help me, it would be much easier.
Okay, so don't be afraid to get guidance. You don't have to know everything yourself. You're not going to know everything. It's just like anything else in life. So thinking that you're just going to go change your eating habits and lose weight on your own, you know, it's very difficult to do. And no wonder there's such a high rate of failure or people dieting regaining the weight back, and then, you know, it just keeps going and going. So it's not surprising.
And what I always say is, what is the secret to weight loss? Well, one of the secrets is to find a buddy. Working out with a friend or family member, budding up to make many healthy food choices, and you can support each other, and that adds to your success.
So in other words, at home, you may want to just change your eating habits for your whole family, have healthier eating habits. So if you have a partner at home, or if you have children, there's nothing wrong with everybody eating healthier.
Correct.
Right? So
it's a win-win situation.
And then also a workout buddy, so somebody that you can maybe have a challenge with, or let's go for a walk together, let's go to the gym, if you can. I mean, I think that enhances.
Correct. Studies show that people that train together or eat the same food together, buddy system, they seem to have the greatest success with a long afterward retention rate. They keep doing it. One person doesn't want to let the other person down, and it's nice to see two people change at the same time.
Right. So a nice thing to do with a friend or a partner, if you can. I mean, certainly people have different schedules from time to time, but if you can do that, then that's another little tip for success.
And again, learn more about nutrition and good food choices. Knowledge is the most powerful thing.
Right. So back to what we were just talking about is really understanding what to eat, when to eat it, how much exercise, how do I approach social situations and challenges. That's really what your success is going to, you know, be as far as just keeping healthy and losing the weight, but then keeping it off, because 50% of the equation is losing it. The other 50, I think, is the harder part, which is maintaining it.
Correct.
You've probably seen a lot of fad diets. People come in and they lose the weight.
Relapse.
That's a good name for it. So relapse is huge. So even with the fad diets, I mean, if you limit your calorie intake enough, right, you'll lose weight. Physiologically, you'll lose weight. That doesn't mean it's good for you. It doesn't mean you're eating healthy, and it doesn't mean you're going to keep it off, right? So.
Correct. And adopt new and saving strategy into your lifestyle.
So some of that's food prep, right? Learning to prepare foods in advance. You know, so once you have a strategy on what you're going to eat for the week, for example, right? And have it ready. So when you had clients coming into the gym, how did you approach that with them, just as far as food planning goes?
We find that planning cuts down on waste, number one, on food waste. Having it done beforehand is, if you come home and you're not tired, it's already there waiting for you. And we say, I like to capitalize on your good time. And when you have the time to do it, to get it all done at one shot, and then it's behind you, and all you have to do is eat it and enjoy it.
Right. So especially coming home from work, I had this happen where I'm super hungry, I'm making dinner, it's going to take a few minutes to make it, and I want some snacks, and I could sabotage my whole day of eating because I have food in the house that's not really contributing to my health. So I might have some, you know, chips or something like that, and I think I'll just munch on a few before I have my dinner. Whereas if I came home and I had healthy food already organized and ready, I grab that instead, right?
Absolutely, and I feel better after as well.
Right. So contributing to your success. So that's a great strategy.
And most important, what I say is professional help, and that's where I would hire a coach. You get better results that way, and they last longer.
Right. So getting those coaches, helping them to empower you, give you direction, and give you that support, because on any journey in life, whether it's weight loss or anything else, we're going to have our high moments, our low moments. Sometimes we're going to feel like we're not making progress, but maybe we are. Maybe that's a normal part of, you know, the progression of weight loss. I know, and you can attest to this, people who are working out, when you gain muscle, you may actually weigh more.
You'll put, yeah, correct. Muscle weighs more than fat, weighs more than water. The goal is to put on lean muscle mass, take the fat and water out.
So we're not talking about having to get bulked up, because I know some people watching this are like, hey, I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I want to look good, but I don't want that. But we're not really talking about that. I mean, certainly if you want to do that, you can. but it's really just when you're exercising, your muscles will respond and you will just have more of that mass. You can still look lean, but, and that's more metabolically active from what you said. So that's what we want.
What are the next steps? Where do I go from here?
So this is a great segue that will take us into this next section that I want to tell you about, that's going to help you with everything we talked about today. And so the question is, okay, how do I bring all these desperate little pieces of information together to make sense? And I think that that's really, from what, I mean, that to me is the biggest challenge, because, none of us really are experts in everything, in every aspect of our life. So, you go to a doctor because a doctor has that knowledge. You go to your hairdresser because they know how to do your hair. So, we aren't expected to know everything. And I think people take that for granted when they're approaching a big change in their life, which is getting healthier, losing weight, because it's just been so, looked at as a fad thing, like let's make it happen quickly. But the truth is that to sustain a change, I think that we have to look at it very comprehensively, and it's something that we want to do over a period of time. So let me ask you this question. If you could have a plan that would help you to lose weight and keep it off for good, so you don't get that bounce back effect, would it be worth trying? I'm hoping I'm hearing a few yeses here. And if you could do this from the convenience of your home, would that work for you? So we know time is an issue, right? Time and weight gain kind of go together. Having all the information that you need is important. And what about not just the weight loss, but also having energy, feeling like you have control over your eating habits? I think that's another aspect of it. And what if you could get all that and it would only cost you $6.56 a day? So I know if I go to Starbucks and get a Venti or a Grande, whatever, it's like it's $5 or $6, right? So what I've done is put together a program that encompasses every aspect of weight loss so that you don't have to figure it out. So it helps you with your planning, coaching. You'll learn and attain the knowledge that you need to be empowered. And I think that that is the key here, is that you're never going to be fully dependent on someone else for your success, that you understand some of these basics so that you can do this for the rest of your life. And that's why I created the Venus Rev It Up Meal Plan with coaching. Now, we talked about coaching and how important that is, but I don't think that we can say enough about that and how far it can help you to really improve your results. So what I do with my program, we've got a 30-day roadmap, and that roadmap is going to tell you exactly what to expect throughout the whole 30 days of the plan. You've got over 115 smoothie recipes. Now, we didn't talk too much about smoothies, but I know you've talked to me about this before, about the success that your clients had with smoothies.
Correct. And again, is to eat the little meals several times throughout the day. No spikes in sugar, no spikes in appetite. Keep everything consistent.
And smoothies are fast and easy to make. You can make them in 5 minutes. And we all love that delicious, thick taste like a milkshake, only these are very healthy, and we've got all sorts of ingredients that will help to boost your metabolism as well. So included in the plan is a smoothie book. It's the ebook, and it's got tons of information in it. It's got setting up your kitchen for success, blender reviews, superfoods, those special thermogenic foods that you're going to want to know about that rev up your metabolism, even at sleep. And we'll go through some of the different options to help you with what type of milks to use, healthy oils. So that's another thing that I think is really important, because people think fats are bad for them.
You have to have fat.
You have to have fat.
Keeps the brain developing.
And it helps you to lose weight.
And our nervous system is made of fat.
So we don't want to avoid fats, but we want to eat the right fats. So that's where there's some education around which fats. And then I also include smoothies for your breakfast, lunch, dinner. We've got pre and post workout, and then even detoxification smoothies that are important so that your body's working optimally. And the smoothies are delicious. They're easy to make. They're full of protein, fiber, a great way to start your day as well. If you want to have one for lunch or dinner, then it helps to stop your cravings in between meals. So that's a big one again. So if you have a smoothie, it's very filling and delicious, and it's satisfying. So once you have one, it's satisfying, so you don't feel like snacking, you know. And then the same thing for working out. If you're just going to go do a workout and you're a little bit hungry, you can have a smoothie. It won't interfere with your workout, or even afterwards as a great recovery, right? So you were talking about building muscle. And so when you were at the gym, people working out on weights, what's the essential nutrient that they need after tearing down their muscle?
Protein, and the best way to get it is through a smoothie.
Right, because it's, you know, instead of going eating a steak, which takes quite a long time for the body to break down and turn into the amino acids, it's almost instantly available in a smoothie, right? If you have the right protein powder. So another great strategy. Detoxification. So our body holds a lot of toxins from foods, the environment, could be lifestyle, maybe some people smoke or drink alcohol, and that will slow down your weight loss. So if your liver is not functioning properly, correct? Liver, kidneys?
Detoxification makes all the enzymes that we need to keep the body healthy and gets the poison out of it.
Right, so that's going to be important as well. And I have to tell you something, these detoxification smoothies are delicious. So it's not as if you're eating something that tastes terrible because it's medicinal. They taste just as good as any of the other smoothies, but there's certain ingredients in them that help the body to release toxins. So those are all included in the recipes. And again, they're just as easy to make. There's also a blender guide, and I'm including the blender guide. And I think this is important because some people have a blender or they may need a new one. Smoothies do not taste good unless you have the right blender. If they're too chunky or not smooth, they're not a smoothie, right? So I included a guide. We did a ton of research on it, and even go into, you know, some details on, you know, pricing and everything you need to know about getting, you know, getting the right blender. I've got a bonus guide that's going to go into even more details on all of that. So it's really like the shopping guide on smoothies, and of course going into those details about good fats, flax, coconut oil. I know those are things that you've recommended.
Correct.
What is it about flax oil that you really
Flaxseed
like?
oil is easy to digest. It's absorbed properly. It doesn't slow down your metabolism. It helps speed up your metabolism, as opposed to gets added to the fat storage of the body.
Right. So huge difference. And so I think it's really important for everybody to learn about those good fats. And then again, the thermogenic boosters, what are they? How do they work? How do they make my metabolism speed up? And this is scientifically proven, right? We know that there are things that will do that. So it gives you that little bit of an edge, and you can add these into your smoothies. You can also add them to meals, you know, so, and you can, you know, you can add them in every single day. There's really not a limit on that. And that will get your fat fasting furnace going and get you moving. So I've created 3 meal plans. Now I know people have different ways that they like to eat. So I wanted to make sure that everybody would be covered. So we've got a vegan plan, a meat eater plan, and that's for mixed proteins, and then a vegetarian plan as well. And so I've got over 100 smoothies to choose from. And then we've got our breakfast snack, lunch snack, dinner, and snack, as we were talking about today, to keep your blood sugar
level and even.
Right. And to keep you from getting hungry.
Spikes, no spikes.
And no spikes, right? So I think that's very important, and that's all covered in the plan. And so, you know, the meal plans are absolutely delicious. They really are, and they're easy to make, and they give you lots of options. That's, I think, important, right? The flexibility.
To have choice, absolutely. So you're not stuck with the same thing all the time.
Yeah, and the foods are delicious, and especially just being able to have the smoothies, you know, so, you know, if you're pressed for time, you can make a smoothie in 5 minutes. And that's a healthy meal. But as you go through the meal plan, I mean, it's super easy to follow. You don't have to be a chef. It's all lined up and set out for you. So it takes all the guesswork out of it, you know. So we're giving you that guidance that you need to have these delicious foods. And then, you know, some of the recipes where you can make foods are really easy and they're absolutely delicious. This pea and mint soup sounds delicious. It is. Might not appeal to everyone, but if you're a pea soup lover, you're going to enjoy that. And we have so many different other recipes. So if there is something that maybe doesn't appeal to you, then there are options that you can choose from. So I've created a food swap guide. So I know for myself, I can't eat bell peppers. Somebody else might not want to eat a certain ingredient in a meal or in a smoothie. And so I've created a guide for you so you can easily swap it out and have the same taste and the same food value. So that's a pretty extensive guide for you, and I think you'll find it useful. Now, again, taking all the guesswork out of this and giving you a solid framework, you've got a weekly shopping guide. So all you have to do is open up the shopping guide, take it with you to the grocery store, get the ingredients, and you're good for the week. I mean, it's really that simple. So we're giving you that guidance so that so you can stay on the plan, and all you have to do is dedicate that time just once a week. So glycemic index, I'm going to let you talk about that for a second.
Glycemic index is a better way to understand foods that support weight loss and that may sabotage it. We find that different carbohydrates are digested or release glucose at a more rapid rate than others, and those are the ones that have a spike. We look to get foods that have a low glycemic index, so it stops the spiking effect and the craving for sugar or sweet drinks or whatever that the person may crave.
So that's important to understand. We give you a whole index, so you might be surprised when you go in and look at some of the foods on the list, and you'll know what to avoid. But also, sometimes you can have a little bit of that food, but not a lot of it. But it's really, again, getting that knowledge and understanding how do foods affect me so that I'm empowered to make good food choices. There's also a goal-setting worksheet, and it's nice to set your goals, but it's setting realistic goals, correct?
Correct.
If you don't know where you're starting, then you don't know if you're succeeding. Right?
We find people that set realistic goals, which is a little goal, they'll achieve it rapidly. Then you set another goal rather than setting a major big goal, and success is the key to setting a small goal. So
people get disappointed sometimes. In other words, they don't think they're progressing because they think they should lose 10 pounds in 1 week. And that's, you know,
setting yourself up for failure.
Setting yourself up for failure, right. So we don't want that. So there's a lot of, you know, guidelines that we can give you with that. And you've got an exercise planner, your goal setting worksheet, a guide to understanding water retention, because sometimes we're retaining water. It's not actually weight. So we need to look at some different things about that. What are we eating? Maybe our sodium intake, lack of certain minerals, eating gluten-free. Now, all the recipes are gluten-free. If you are not gluten intolerant, you can certainly substitute any of the items for foods with gluten, but we made everything gluten-free, and it honestly, it tastes exactly the same. Everything's very tasty, but just so for folks that might have celiac disease or just even be sensitive to gluten, because there is a relationship between gluten and weight gain, the way that it can affect your blood sugar and also make you retain water. So there's some great information in there to help you to understand that better. Now, I want to talk just briefly about the coaching and the part that we discussed earlier about how that can make a big difference. So what I did was I included coaching in the program. So once a week for 4 weeks, you will have a video from an expert coach. And I think everybody would be really interested in this, at least I hope so. And part of that is because you're going to get some extra guidance. Studies have shown that you get a significant increase in weight loss and sustainability when you have a coach. The American Council on Exercise and Diet states that weight loss participants who were guided by health coaches lost 10% more body weight in 24 weeks. So it gives you that little extra edge, and then it also helps you to stay on the program. I've chosen only the best coaches, and of course we go back to that question is, what kind of coaches? Like, who do I need to help me succeed, right? So we want to start right at the beginning. And I want to introduce you to, this is Trissa Katsakapis. She's your organizational coach, and she's going to help you with reorganizing your fridge, your pantry, so you can't build a new way of eating on an old platform. So if you still got junk foods in your house, then there's a chance that you may go back to eating those foods. So session number 1, organizing your kitchen for success. And we're just going to go past that. So everything that you need to know about removing the foods from your pantry, the tools you need for preparation, quick meals, it's all included in that session. Session 2 is nutrition. Just even understanding the basics of nutrition. It's not a university course. It's about helping you to make really good decisions. And we have covering a lot of topics here about just questions you probably always had about basic nutritional information that's going to help you to be successful. And our coach for that is Dr. Jody Larry, which you can see on our site. You'll see the information on each of those coaches, but Jody has a thriving practice in Toronto, Canada. She's helped thousands of people to lose weight and get healthier. We also have a fitness coaching that will be week 3, and this is really helping you to understand what role exercise has in weight loss, helping you to maintain your weight. How do you even figure out where to begin and what program works for you? And for that session, we have Jamie Jensen, and she is from Ecor Fitness in Santa Cruz, over 15 years of experience. And this is an important part as well, which is that emotional, personal emotional part of why we eat, and also dealing with social issues. So we've got a great session. That's your 4th week, and that's going to help you with your personal life, your business life, your outlook on life. Great session by Sari Nisker-Fox, who is just phenomenal. So you're going to love that session. So those are all included in the plan. Now we've got lots of testimonials from folks that have used the plan, which you can see on our site, and then also myself. So I put this plan together because I also started off with a weight problem. Now some people say 135 pounds, hey, I'm 200 pounds, that's nothing. But of course it's all personal and how you feel. And I was also facing some health issues because of that weight gain. But what happened was I went on a bodybuilding plan, which was a fad diet. I was working out twice a day. I lost the weight, as you can see here. But what happened was
Put it back on,
bounce back effect. But once I started to create this plan, and I came up with a smoothie plan and this meal plan, I realized that I was able to maintain my weight, and that there was something more involved in just weight loss. It was that sustainability. Part of that had to do with getting the right guidance, and smoothies played a very big role in that. So what I want to do today is I want to make a special offer for you. I know you're on the webinar, and I appreciate you staying on and getting this information that's going to help you to be successful. Now the regular price of the plan that includes your 30 days of your meals, vegan, vegetarian, meat eaters, 3 meals, 3 snacks, recipes, over 100 smoothies. There's a ton in this program. I mean, and this is all yours. I mean, this is all included. Would normally be $159, and that's for the meal plan itself. So that's $5.33 a day. I mean, that's it. A typical coaching session, well, from the gym, could be, anywhere from $150 to $200 a session. That is not unusual. And often you have to go in somewhere, you have to fill out intake forms. So it takes a lot of your time as well. So for 4 sessions, $800 would not be out of the ordinary. And for today, for watching the webinar, I'm going to offer it to you for only $74 a session, which is significantly lower. Plus, you get it out of the convenience of your own home. You get included the fully comprehensive smoothies book. So again, I know we covered all of that, and you know, it's over 100 recipes. And this is my newest book, my newest release. So that's you know, it's like a handbook that you'll always want to hang on to. The detailed ebook. So we talked a little bit about the details, learning about essential oils, leptin. We didn't talk about that, but you're going to want to know about leptin because there is one food that you're going to absolutely want to avoid if you really want to lose weight. We covered in this guide, and you're going to cross that off your list as an ingredient on any food that you ever buy moving out to the future. So just to recap, you can see there's a ton in the program, and the price of the 30-day meal plan is $159.99. The book, the newest smoothie book, $27.99. The detailed bonus book and the coaching. So that brings us to a total of $501.97. But if you want to get started today, and as part of this special on the internet, I'm going to take 60% off. So that's, again, $6.56 a day to have all of these different pieces that we talked about today brought together for you in a program for only $197. That's $304.97 off. So that's significant savings. But wait. So as my way of thanking you, and I really want to give you my appreciation for you watching today, and also for your dedication, because I know you want to lose weight, you want to feel good in your body, you want to get that energy back again, I'm going to take another $100 off of the cost of this completely, fully comprehensive program, and for only $97, you can have the meal plan, the book, the ebook, the bonus, the 4 coaching sessions. I mean, there's just so much information in there that you couldn't possibly take this plan and not be incredibly empowered by the end of it. So all you have to do is click below underneath the webinar. There's a link, and it will take you right to our page. Just sign up today. All you do is fill out your membership form. You'll have instant access to all of the information, to the meal plans. Your first coaching session will be available to you, and then every week you'll have your next coaching session sent to you. You will have lifetime access to the coaching sessions and all that information. And you know, for some people, they want to go past 30 days. You can repeat this plan and stay on it for as long as you like. So for some people, they need to stay on it for, you know, 3 months or more. It's a super healthy eating plan, no weird foods, nothing you can't get at any supermarket. So be sure to sign up today. And I want to thank you so much for your time again. I want to thank Dr. Marc Eisman for being part of this. I appreciate your time, and I hope that all of you got a ton of information, and I really look forward to seeing you on the other side and hearing about your successes. Email us if you have any questions at all. I'm always happy to help anyone or answer any of your questions. You can just email us at help@venusrevetuphealthyfoods.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
And have a great day, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a full-time mom, and I have a full-time job, and I don't always have time to cook meals. So what I like about Venus Rev It Up Smoothie and Meal Plan is that I can just grab a smoothie and go.
I'm Tashika Wilson, and I started the Venus Rev It Up Smoothie Plan about 3 months ago. Basically because it did look like an easy plan to follow, and a friend of mine had tried it and the meal plan, and she was really getting results. So I find that the meal plans are really easy to make, and my boyfriend's even eating them with me. So To date, I've lost about 16 pounds and 8 inches on my waist. So I just wanted to let other women know about the plan because it's literally the only one that has really worked this fast for me. So.
Hi, I'm Diane, and I've been on the Venus Rev It Up smoothie plan. I've found a lot of benefits from it. It's very convenient to make. I get all my greens in this way, and I've even lost weight with it. I recommend the plan to anyone.
Hi, my name is Iris, and I have been on the Venus Rev It Up smoothie and meal plan for the past 3 months. My favorite smoothie is the chocolate fat blaster, but I love them all. The meals are easy to prepare and delicious. It has helped me lose the weight that I haven't been able to lose in the past. And I highly recommend this plan. If you are serious about losing weight and keeping it off, this is the way to go.
Hi, I'm Trissa, an award-winning interior designer. My work takes me into people's homes and kitchens to help them reorganize and set up a space that ultimately fits their lifestyle goals. I've also worked as a food stylist for prestigious global marketing firms and was involved in the HGTV Restaurant Impossible TV show. I helped assist with redesign and reorganize their restaurants to make them more successful. If there's one thing I've learned over the years and with my experience is that planning and organizing can go a long way. When it comes to setting up your kitchen for success, it requires getting rid of the old and making room for the new. Other topics I'll be covering with you are how to identify what to remove from your fridge and pantry and what to replace them with, what essential tools are needed for food preparation and storage, quick meal planning strategies, and where to access foods that are wholesome, organic, and affordable. I will cover these topics and many more when we get into our first coaching session. My goal is to support you with the most essential tools you will need in your first steps of the program. How you start off can really set the tone for your success. So let's get it right from the start, and I'll be there to show you how. I'm hoping you will include me as part of your journey to finding a healthier and happier lifestyle. See you there.
Hi, my name is Jody Larry, and I'm a naturopathic doctor and owner of a busy clinic where I've worked with hundreds of people to help them in achieving a healthy approach to sustainable weight loss. My own healing crisis is what guided me into becoming a naturopathic doctor, and because of that, I can understand when my patients come to me with difficult challenges. In our session, I'm going to help you get a better understanding of some of the important basics in nutrition to empower you along your journey to losing weight and creating a healthy balance in your life. During our session, we will be covering the following topics. How important is good nutrition? What are the basic and most important things to know? How to read and interpret food labels? Why is losing weight important? Beyond looking amazing, how can losing weight contribute to your health? How and why? Dining out, foods you can eat from on any menu, how to know what the right choices are, potential pitfalls to look out for and consider on your weight loss journey, and so much more. I hope to equip you with the tools and knowledge you will need in order to achieve your goals and to offer practical and effective strategies that can make a significant impact to your success. I hope you will allow me to join you as part of your journey to better health.
Hi, I'm Jamie Jansen with Santa Cruz Core Fitness and Rehab. I've been in the fitness industry, well, my whole life, but I've run a facility for over 10 years and been a trainer for 17. I'm really excited to be a part of this program, and I'm really excited that you're here to join us. In my session with you, we'll be covering steps to get started on a weight loss program. We'll also be talking about what to do when you're busy and how do you fit yourself in when you live a busy lifestyle. We'll talk about what BMI means and what does a scale weight mean and how to get ready on this journey to optimal health. I've worked with so many different individuals who want to lose weight, get out of pain, increase performance, all equally challenging. What we want to do is we want to motivate and inspire you and let you know that you can do it by just taking one day at a time. We're in this together. This is a partnership. You are not alone. We're excited. We're super excited for you to be on this journey with us. So welcome. Lots of questions, and I'm ready to give you lots of answers. So let's get going.
Welcome. My name is Sarah Nisker-Fox. I've been working in the wellness space in Toronto, LA, and New York City for over 15 years as a yoga instructor and owner of a yoga and indoor cycling studio. I've been a mentor to yoga teachers and wellness practitioners, as well as professionals. I work as a wellness consultant and a life coach. I am the founder of Indira Wellness, which is bringing the concept of living well into the corporate world in every aspect of the word, through group coaching, through movement, mindfulness, and nutrition. What I do really on a whole is to be a guide and a mirror for people who want to create change in their life, be it in their personal life, their business, their body. We are here today together because ultimately you want to change the way you feel. You want to have more energy, you want to feel different, you want to enhance your lifestyle, you want to look good, and you want to ultimately enhance your life. I'm here to give you some tools to do that. I have helped people create the lives that they want, the businesses they want, the relationships that they want, and the bodies that they want through yoga, through mindfulness, and coaching. I have helped people remember really what they already know. I remind you of your self-worth. I remind you that you deserve this. You deserve to live the life that you want. You deserve to feel good in your body, in your skin. And so I'm just here to really be that friendly reminder. I am not going to tell you anything that is earth-shattering. I might give you a few tools, but ultimately you already know all this. So we're here because you have the desire to lose weight. And that desire is to change. And you want to go from your current state of being into another state of being. And this is change. And let's acknowledge, right, because that's the known, okay? And change is hard and change is uncomfortable. So none of this will be easy, but we're going to work this muscle together. So you've all been through changing your life, right? From not having something to then having something, and vice versa. And change really requires that we create these new ways of being, these new ways of thinking, and these new ways of feeling. And essentially we want to create these new neuropathies in the brain, right? And the subject of weight loss is no different. We want to evolve into a self that is lighter, more energetic, more confident, more loving. And I believe it's all there to begin with. We just have to remember that. So come along for this journey.